You were deceived about manifestation. It's not your fault. For years you've been told that all you need to do is think positively, visualize, create a vision board, and yet your reality remains the same. You repeat the same affirmations every morning. But the money doesn't come. The relationships don't change, and that feeling of being stuck in the same cycle only grows. I know exactly how you feel. That quiet frustration when you see others manifesting seemingly effortlessly while you're doing everything the gurus teach but nothing changes. It's like there's a secret code no one's told you. And you know what? You're right. There really is. Today that changes. Because in the next few minutes I'm going to reveal the 3 quantum secrets that separate those who manifest consistently from those who get stuck in the cycle of hope and frustration. The truth? Manifestation is not about what you want, it never has been. It's about what you are at the quantum level. And there's a scientific reason for that. Physicist Werner Heisenberg discovered something called the uncertainty principle, proving that the observer alters reality just by observing it. But here's the secret no one tells you. It's not your conscious mind that's observing. It's your entire energy field. Think of it like a radio station. You may want to tune into the frequency of abundance, but if your entire body is vibrating at the frequency of scarcity, guess what signal the universe is receiving? If you watch until the end and really absorb what I'm about to share, you'll understand 3 main points. First, why your manifestations seem to work at first and then stop. Second, the fatal mistake that 95% of people make without realizing it. And third, the exact quantum tool you can use today to change your energy signature. But here's the important thing. This is no longer a method. It's the fundamental truth about how reality works. Joe Dispenza calls it becoming supernatural. Neville Goddard called it assuming the desired state. Today we move beyond labels and into science. Take a deep breath now. Seriously, do this to me. Because what comes next may challenge everything you believe about manifestation. It may even make you uncomfortable, but that discomfort, it's the old you resisting the truth that's about to set you free. Let's start with the number 1 lie that is sabotaging your demonstrations right now. The biggest lie about manifestation? That it's about adding something new to your life. It's not. Manifestation is about stopping creating the same reality every day. Let me explain something that will change everything. Your brain processes 400 billion bits of information per second, but you are only conscious of 2,000. This means that 99.99% of your reality is being created by your subconscious. And here's the problem. At 95% of who you are, your thoughts, behaviors, emotional reactions, is a subconscious program running on autopilot. You wake up and without realizing it, you're recreating the same day as yesterday. The same thoughts generate the same feelings, which generate the same actions, which create the same reality. Bruce Lipton discovered something fascinating. Your cells respond more to the energetic environment than to your conscious thoughts. So when you say positive affirmations in the morning, but spend the whole day in a state of anxiety and scarcity, guess what signal your 50 trillion cells are transmitting? It's like trying to drive a car with your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. Your conscious mind is accelerating, saying, I am abundant, but your whole body is braking, screaming, danger, scarcity, not safe. I'll tell you a story that Napoleon Hill shared, but that few really understand. A man spent years claiming he was rich. He visualized it, felt gratitude, did everything right. But every time a bill arrived, his stomach tightened. Every time he saw his bank balance, his chest tightened. His body was living in 2019, but emotionally he was stuck in a memory of scarcity from 1985. At the quantum level, and this is physics, not philosophy, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. But what does it mean to be something? Being is when your thoughts, emotions, and body are aligned on the same frequency. Neville Goddard called this assuming the feeling of wish fulfillment. But here's what he couldn't explain in 1950 that science now proves. The quantum field doesn't respond to words. It doesn't respond to pictures. It responds to coherence between your brain and your heart. The HeartMath Institute has proven that when you are in coherence, your electromagnetic field expands up to 3 meters around you. You literally become a quantum magnet. But when you're incoherent, thinking abundance and feeling scarcity, you create what physicists call destructive interference. Your waves cancel each other out. That's why your manifestations start and stop. That's why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Now, let me reveal the 3 mistakes that 95% of people make without realizing it. Mistake number 1. Trying to manifest from the same state of consciousness that created the problem. Einstein said, "You cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it." But that's exactly what we do. We try to attract abundance while vibrating scarcity. Mistake number 2. Bargaining with the universe. If I do this, then I'll get that. That's not manifestation, it's manipulation. The quantum field responds to who you are, not what you do. Mistake number, and this is the most subtle, waiting for reality to change before changing how you feel. You say, "And when the money comes, I'll feel abundant." But in quantum physics, the feeling has to come first. You have to collapse the wave function of possibility into reality through your state of being. So here's the million-dollar question. Literally, if you knew, with absolute scientific certainty, that your external reality was only a delayed mirror of your internal reality, would you continue to entertain the same thoughts and emotions as yesterday? Take another deep breath. Feel the truth of this in your body. Because now that you understand why 95% fail, you're ready to discover the first quantum secret that changes everything. The secret of the observer. In 1927 at the Solvay Congress, the world's greatest physicists gathered, Einstein, Bohr, Heisenberg, and what they discovered at that meeting shook the foundations of reality as we know it. The double-slit experiment proved something impossible to ignore. Particles behave differently when observed. Without an observer, they exist as waves of possibility. With an observer, they collapse into particles, into physical reality. But here's the secret that took us decades to understand. You are that observer. And I'm not talking philosophically, I'm talking pure physics. Your body is made of 50 trillion cells. Each cell performs 100,000 chemical reactions per second. But go deeper. Each cell is made of molecules of atoms. And atoms? 99.9999% empty space. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a basketball, the nearest electron would be 20 miles away. Between them, nothing. Void. Pure quantum field. This means that you are literally more space than matter. You are more energetic field than physical field. And that field? It is constantly interacting with the universal quantum field, what Max Planck called the matrix that underlies all existence. But here comes the part that changes everything. When you observe something, really observe with intention and emotion, you collapse infinite possibilities into one specific reality. Joe Dispenza documented this in his studies. People who meditated by focusing on a specific reality, with heightened emotion, changed their genetic markers in just 4 days. 4 days, they didn't change their thoughts. They changed their biology through conscious observation. I'll give you a practical example that will blow your mind. When you wake up in the morning and immediately pick up your phone, checking the same news, the same issues, you are observing and collapsing the same possibilities as yesterday. You are literally choosing, out of infinite quantum possibilities, to repeat the past. But when you wake up and before opening your eyes, observe internally the reality you choose to create, feeling as if it were already real, you are collapsing a new timeline. You are selecting, from the field of all possibilities, the one that resonates with your state of being. Now, let me teach you something practical. The quantum observer technique that you can use right now. First, stop observing what you don't want. It seems obvious, but 80% of your day you spend observing, commenting on, and reacting to what you don't want. Traffic is horrible. The economy is bad. I don't have enough money. Every observation is a vote to maintain that reality. Second, observe from the end point, not the starting point. Don't observe I want to have abundance. Observe how good it is to live in abundance and feel it. Your field doesn't know the difference between what is imagined with emotion and what is real. Third, and this is crucial, keep observing even when physical reality has not yet changed. Why? Because there is a delay. Physical reality is dense, it takes time to reorganize. But in the quantum field, change is instantaneous. But here's the secret within the secret, something Wallace Wattles mentioned in The Science of Getting Rich, but which we only now fully understand. It's not just you observing reality. Reality is also observing you. It's a quantum dance. The field responds to what you are being, not what you are pretending to be. The field responds to what you are being, not what you are pretending to be. That's why empty affirmations don't work. You can say I am rich 1,000 times, but if your whole body is contracted in fear of poverty, the field is watching the fear, not the words. Want proof that this is real? Look at your life right now. Everything you see, your environment, your circumstances, your relationships, is the result of what you have observed and collapsed into reality over the past months and years. The good news? You can change the observer now. This moment. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve now. Take a deep breath. Right now you are collapsing possibilities. The question is, which possibilities are you choosing? And that brings us to the second quantum secret, an even more powerful one. Because it's not enough to just observe with your mind. The real power lies when your heart and brain come into coherence. For decades, science believed that the brain controlled everything, that the heart was just a pump. Until they discovered something shocking. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the other way around. In fact, 90% of communication goes from the heart to the brain. Even more impressive, your heart has 40,000 neurons. It literally has its own intelligence. And your heart's electromagnetic field, it's 60 times greater than your brain's. It can be measured up to 3 meters away from your body. This means that people around you are literally feeling your heart field before you even speak a word. But here's where it gets interesting for manifestation. When your heart and brain come into coherence, when they vibrate in harmony, something extraordinary happens. You create a super coherent electromagnetic field that becomes a quantum magnet. Think of it like Wi-Fi. When your router is working perfectly, the signal is strong and clear. But when there is interference, the signal becomes weak and intermittent. The same thing happens with your energy field. Most people live in internal chaos. The brain wants one thing, the heart feels another. It's like trying to tune into 2 radio stations at the same time. You only get static. Studies from the HeartMath Institute have shown that just 3 minutes of cardiac coherence boost your immune system for 6 hours. Now imagine what happens to your ability to manifest when you maintain that coherence. Let me explain exactly why your manifestations sometimes work and sometimes they don't. When you visualize something you want, but your heart is clenched with anxiety, you are sending 2 opposite signals into the field. Your mind is saying yes, but your heart is screaming it's not safe. The quantum field is intelligent. It responds to the strongest signal. And guess which one is always the strongest? The heart's. Always. That's why people can repeat affirmations for years without results. The brain is talking, but the heart isn't feeling. And without the heart, you're just moving air with words. Now, when you can align the two, when your mind visualizes it and your heart feels it as real, you create what we call a quantum imprint. It's like stamping your intention into the fabric of reality. I will now teach you the exact technique for creating this coherence. Write it down if you feel it is necessary to do later. The technique is simple, but don't confuse simple with easy. It requires practice. Step 1. Breathe from your heart. Literally imagine the air moving in and out through the center of your chest. This feels strange at first, but it activates your cardiac neurons. Do this for 30 seconds. Step 2. Activate a high emotion before you visualize what you want. Gratitude, love, joy. It doesn't matter why you feel it, just feel it. Your heart doesn't question it, it just amplifies it. Step 3. Now, and only now, bring up the image of what you choose to manifest. But here's the trick. Don't visualize yourself getting something. Visualize yourself being someone who already has it. There's a huge quantum difference. Step 4. Hold for 17 seconds. Why 17? That's how long it takes to create a neural pattern. Less than that, and you're just having a thought. More than 17 seconds, and you're creating a new pathway in your brain. Something fascinating happens when you practice this consistently. For the first 3 days, nothing changes externally. But internally, a revolution is happening. Your neurons are creating new connections. Your heart is establishing a new baseline rhythm. Your cells are changing their receptors. You are literally becoming a different person at the molecular level. On the 4th day, something changes. You wake up different. It's not that the world has changed, not yet. It's that you have changed. And because you have changed, your perception has changed. And because your perception has changed, you begin to notice opportunities that were always there. Synchronicities begin to appear. Coincidences multiply. In fact, they are not coincidences. It is your new electromagnetic field attracting experiences that match your new frequency. But here's a crucial warning. The moment you enter coherence and begin to change, your old self will fight back. Your body, accustomed to the chemicals of stress and scarcity, will want to return to the familiar. You will feel discomfort, maybe irritation, maybe an inexplicable urge to stop. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is proof that it is working. It is your old self dying so that the new self can be born. The question is, will you give in to the discomfort of growing up, or will you return to the familiar pain of the past? And that brings us to the 3rd secret, the most powerful of all. Because it's not enough to observe, it's not enough to be in coherence. You need to become a new quantum identity. What I'm about to share with you now may be the most confronting thing you'll hear today. But it's also the most liberating. You can't create a new reality by being the same person. It's quantum impossible. Why? Because each version of reality requires a specific version of you. The version of you that is a millionaire doesn't think, doesn't feel, doesn't act like the current version. They are literally 2 different people living in 2 different realities. And here's the mind-bending paradox. You have to become the person first, before reality changes, not after, before. Scientists conducted a fascinating experiment with actors. They asked them to play characters with different levels of confidence for 2 weeks. Not just act live like these characters. After 14 days, they measured their hormone levels. Those who played confident characters had higher testosterone and lower cortisol. Those who played anxious characters, the opposite. Their bodies had transformed to match the identity they assumed. Now think, if 2 weeks of pretending to be someone else can change your biology, imagine what a lifetime of being you has done to your body, your brain, your reality. You don't have money problems. You have an identity that creates money problems. You don't have relationship problems. You have an identity that attracts those problems. Joe Dispenza talks about this. For something new to be born, something old must die. But no one prepares you for what that's really like. When you start to change your identity, your body panics, literally, because to your nervous system, change equals death. The known, even if it is suffering, is safe. The unknown, even if it is better, is danger. That's why every time you try to change, that voice comes up. This isn't you. You're faking it. Get back to what's real. But what is real? Only what you've been repeating long enough to feel solid. Your ego will scream. Your cells will beg for the old chemicals. Your friends will say, "You've changed." Of course you have. That's literally the point. Let me explain exactly how to do this identity transition. First, identify who you have been. Don't judge, just observe. What story do you tell yourself? I'm someone who always struggles with money. I'm unlucky in love. These are not truths. They are identities you've worn for so long you've forgotten they are just clothes. Second, decide who you choose to be. Not who you hope to be someday. Who you are starting now. How does this person think? How does he or she feel when they wake up? How does he or she respond to challenges? What does he or she consider normal? Third, here's the secret. Act like that person before you have the proof. If you were a millionaire, how would you treat your current money? With desperation or with confidence? If you were loved deeply, how would you behave? With need or with fullness? I'm not saying spend what you don't have. I'm saying be who you choose to be regardless of the circumstances. There's a powerful technique I call quantum identity leap. It's simple yet profound. Before you go to sleep, spend 5 minutes completely being the new version of you. Not visualizing, being. Feel how that person feels. Think their thoughts, breathe their rhythm. Why before bed? Because during sleep your brain consolidates the day's experiences. If the last experience is you being the new identity, your brain spends 8 hours installing that new program. In the morning, before you open your eyes, ask yourself, if I were already the person I choose to be, what would be my first thought? Unthink that thought. What would be my first feeling? Go and feel that feeling. You are literally hacking your operating system, replacing the old program line by line, day after day. Something magical happens after 21 days of doing this. You reach what I call the point of no return. The new you becomes more real than the old you. Going back requires more energy than going forward. Neville Goddard described it perfectly. You know it's worked when you can no longer imagine being the old you. When thinking about the old identity feels like remembering a distant dream. And so reality has no choice. The laws of physics dictate that the external must match the internal. It's not hope. It's science. The quantum field must rearrange itself to match its new energetic signature. But be careful, this doesn't happen overnight. Physical reality is dense, but the signs begin immediately. Synchronicities, opportunities, coincidences. They are the cracks in the old reality letting the new in. So here's the trillion-dollar question. Are you willing to let who you have been die to be born who you came to be? Because you can't have both. You can't keep the old identity and have the new reality. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it scary? Sometimes. But you know what's scarier? Reaching the end of your life being the same person, living the same reality, wondering, what if I had tried? Now that you know the 3 quantum secrets, it's time to put them into practice. Let's do something powerful together. It doesn't matter where you are, in the car, at home, walking. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. What matters is your intention. In the next few minutes, we will apply the 3 quantum secrets simultaneously. We will observe a new reality, create heart-brain coherence, and activate your new identity, all at the same time. First, adjust your posture. Sit or stand as the person you choose to be would, not the tired, worried, anxious person, the confident, abundant, fulfilled person. This adjustment alone changes your brain chemistry. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again. Breathe in strength. Breathe out the old. One last time. Breathe in possibility. Breathe out limitation. Now bring your attention to the center of your chest. Imagine a golden light pulsating there. With each breath, this light grows brighter, warmer. Keep breathing from your heart. Literally imagine the air moving in and out through this center of light. This may sound strange, but it is activating the 40,000 neurons in your heart. Now, without forcing it, allow a feeling of gratitude to arise. It doesn't need to have a reason, just the pure feeling. As if you've just received the best news of your life. Feel that warmth spreading from your chest to your entire body. This is your heart coming into coherence. Right now you are emitting an electromagnetic field 60 times more powerful than normal. You are literally a quantum magnet now. Holding this feeling, answer internally. If everything I desire were already reality, how would I feel at this moment? Don't think about the thing. Feel the state. Relief, peace, joy, confidence. Let that feeling take over every cell. Now the most important part. In this state, who are you? Not what you have. Who you are. How does this version of you breathe? How does it feel about the future? You're not faking it. You're accessing a version of yourself that already exists in the quantum field. It's always existed. You're just tuning into that frequency. Breathe like this person. Feel like this person. For these seconds, completely be this person. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your cells are responding. Your DNA is listening. Now, from the state of this new identity, look at your life 6 months from now. Don't force images. Just know with every fiber of your being that everything has changed. What's it like to wake up in this new reality? What's it like to look at your bank account and smile? What's it like to feel loved and supported? What's it like to live with purpose and clarity? It's not in the future. It's happening now. In the quantum field, there is no time. There is only the eternal now. And in this now, you already are. You already have. You already live this reality. Hold this knowledge for 10 more seconds. Alright, feeling more and more real. 7, 6, your body memorizing the state. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, place your hand on your heart and repeat internally after me. I completely release who I was. I fully embrace who I am. My reality rearranges itself now to match my new frequency. It is done. I am. It is real. Take another deep breath. When you open your eyes or return your attention to your surroundings, something has changed. It may be subtle, but it has changed. You are no longer the same person you were 5 minutes ago. Your cells have received a new command. Your field has emitted a new signature. The universe has received its new quantum coordinate. Here's the final secret of this practice. Do it for 5 minutes, twice a day, morning and night. Not when you have extra time, not when you feel like it. Every day. Why? Because you've spent years, maybe decades, practicing being the old you. 5 minutes a day to install a new identity isn't too much to ask, is it? And every time during the day you feel the old identity trying to come back, and it will, pause. Breathe from your heart. Ask, who do I choose to be in this moment? Then be. It's not a one-time event. It's a practice. Every time you choose the new identity, you weaken the old one. Every time you maintain coherence, you strengthen your magnetic field. Now let's seal all this with the final commitment. You've made it this far. This is no coincidence. In an endless sea of videos, distractions, possibilities, you chose to be here now receiving exactly this message. Do you know what this means? That you are ready. Your quantum field brought you here because it's time to stop living the same reality on a loop. It's time to break the cycle. You now know what 99% of people don't. You understand that manifestation isn't magic. It's physics. It's not hope, it's science. It's not about asking, it's about being. The question is no longer, will it work? Now the question is, will I apply it? At this very moment, you are at a quantum crossroads. Two paths lie before you. Path 1. You close this video and go back to your life. Tomorrow you wake up with the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, recreate the same reality. A year from now, you're in the same place, wondering why nothing changes. Path 2. You decide that today is day 1 of your new life. You apply the 3 secrets. You practice coherence. You assume the new identity. And in 3 months, 6 months, a year, you look back and no longer recognize who you were. There is no wrong choice. But there is a consequence. The consequence of not changing is living the same life. The consequence of changing is, well, it's discovering how limitless you really are. If you choose path 2, do this now with me. It's a simple but powerful ritual. Comment below just 2 words, I am. Don't explain. Don't justify. Just I am. Why? Because the moment you declare I am, without adding limitations, you are affirming your infinite nature. You are saying to the quantum field, I am ready to be who I came to be. And every time you see your comment, you'll remember this moment. The moment you chose. The moment everything changed. But don't stop there. If this content resonated with you, share it. Not for me. For the person who is exactly where you were 40 minutes ago. Stuck, frustrated, looking for a way out. Be the synchronicity in someone's life. Let me make you a promise. Based on universal laws that never fail. If you apply what you learned today, really apply it. Not just think about it, your reality will change. It cannot not change. It is impossible to maintain the same reality with a new identity. Will it be instantaneous? For some things, yes. For others, no. Physical reality has density, it has response time, but the signals begin immediately. That unexpected connection. The opportunity that comes out of nowhere. The money that comes from where you didn't expect it. The relationship that transforms. The clarity that suddenly appears. These are the first signs that your new field is working. Trust the process. Especially when you don't see evidence. It's in the space between planting and harvesting that most give up. Don't be the majority. Feel the truth of what you have learned vibrating in your cells. From now on, every morning when you wake up, before you pick up your phone, before you think about your problems, remember, you have the power to collapse any reality you choose. The question is, which reality will you choose today? This is the beginning of your new story, your new identity. Until we meet again, and remember, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. Be. Just be. I am.